Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Follow here. I'm going to give you a full breakdown of what it's going to take to get on top of the leaderboard. Now, we're about 2 weeks in or so. I am first at the moment, but don't be disheartened by the scores. We're only a few weeks in. There's nothing I've done that you guys can't catch up with and overtake me over time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the best way that I know of to get you through this as fast as you can, and all the little mistakes that I've made on my way I'll try and rectify so you don't replicate the same sort of mistakes. And let's start. Right, basically you're going to want 1,000 here, so you're going to work on this. Every hit's going to give you one. Ignore my score. You're going to get one rock per hit, and then, well, it helps if you press the okay, left trigger opens up all your inventory, stats, achievements, artifacts, prestige, teleporter, and your new card system. Okay, now when you press right trigger, you're going to get all your purchases and everything. Now it's like Lumberjack, any similar tycoon to this. You're going to want to put as little as you can to be able to send, well, power multiplier on your right. Now, then you're going to want to move to page 2. So every one you put in, if you buy it individually in 1 or 10, 100, it makes no difference to the actual price of anything. It just goes up by that number. It's not like you lose out by buying in 1 as opposed to buying 100. It makes no difference. So I put mine to 10, and that's how I work the first page. So once you get to 10, you're now going to hit for 10. You're not going to hit for 1, you're going to hit for 10. So once you buy that, and then you have enough to do the power multiplier, and you do that, it will double it. So you go from 10 to 20. So now you're hitting for 20, and you're going to work on this one. And then same again, you're going to get to 10, and then you're going to want to double it, and so on and so on and so on. And you're going to want to do that for the first page. Now, once you've got 1,000, you might want to think about just opening this door, then coming back here, because this will give you a 1% gather rate. Now, yeah, 1% is not very much, but they do drastically go up. So as soon as you can afford the doors, open them. Don't go buying vendors or anything else. Get the doors open as fast as you can, because that's going to give you a huge gather rate, and that gather rate is extremely important. Okay, so that is basically going to get you down into the cave system as fast as you can. Once you can afford like things like buying the altars here, make sure you're putting money into them. Now, you've also got things in here which I want you to ignore just now. Don't put any money into your speed upgrade at the moment unless it's like so cheap you've got the money spare. So once you've got the money and you're not needing it for anything, start putting it in. And it's the same for the AFK upgrades. In fact, you could go the whole entire game with never needing to put any money into this. It's not necessary. The AFK zone pays like like 10,000ths of what me would be standing at this gem and simply holding the right trigger and pressing the PlayStation button like this. Or on Xbox, I think you just need to do this similar thing, but you need to plug it in so it doesn't go off. Okay, so don't worry about those two. This one is very important. Make sure you're buying this one when you can afford it. Each time you can afford this, buy it. Because you want your ores as fast as you can so you can start working on your first artifact. Alright, so we're going to go down into the cave system. So we've jumped down. Now, you could work in this section, okay, if you wanted to. However, there is still one wee skip left that hasn't been patched, and I hope it never does because it's not really worth it for this section. You're going to go over here, you're going to come down, and hopefully you'll be powerful enough to start getting some of these down. If you're hitting them when you're not, you're going to have to teleport back out, and you're going to then have to either work the top gems or this room. So I worked for the whole first page on the gem before I came down, the main gems at the top. So I did all 10 and then all the multipliers and got to page 2 before I came down. Then when I hit these, I'm pretty sure I had no problem eventually breaking them. Once you break them, you're going to have loads of money. You'll teleport back out this door because it'll be blocked. You then buy this door and you repeat the process, working back in that room, buying all the vendors. But the moment you have 10 million, do not go back to the vendor and waste it. Get the door open. right? Then work on these, get as much money as you can from these gems, and then go back and start buying stuff from the vendors. Then you're going to want to get to your artifact section over here. Right, at the moment you can start getting your artifacts, the better. So this is going to be for your hammer, your very first hammer, right? Now you've got to this section, you can unlock it. So you're going to want to then start smelting all the ores that become available and selecting whatever one you can, right? And then select the best percentage hammer at all times and equip it. Now to do that, you'll go to remote and you open up, you go to artifacts, and you'll be in the mushroom section. You've got three sections: mushroom, lava, and underworld. It'll be very obvious of what section you're in each time. So once you're in mushroom, you'll get the one that gives you the best percentages. You've got strength, crit rate, crit damage, final hit. Whatever one is the best, select. They're going to eventually alternate as the game goes on, so make sure you're always equipping the best one. You won't be able to get more hammers until you prestige. Okay, so that is the artifacts done. Now, what I want you to do is once you have 1 billion, is I want you to go and get the sword, and I'm going to take you there. Now, you're going to have to work dungeons, you're going to have to do a whole host of things to be able to come strong as fast as possible, and I'll show you how it's going to work. Okay, so come back out here, and we're going to go down into the dungeon section. So we'll pretend for now you have the 1 billion, and you're going to open up the sword, and you're going to buy your common sword. Now you're not going to be able to upgrade the sword again until you've killed the dungeon boss. Alright, so your first dungeon boss in the mushroom section. Every dungeon is on the second level of each biome. So we've got 3 biomes, and I'll take you to the first one, and I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll go through it just so you can see what to do. Now there is a little bit of a cheese that you can sort of, it helps a little bit to kill the dungeon bosses for now, but it will eventually be patched, so I would use it. It just saves a lot of running around and a lot of time. You want to get through this as fast as you can. So we're going in now. I think it's 10 seconds. Now that's us in. This is your dungeon boss. If you're going to fight him properly, you're going to hit him and you're going to try and back up from the attacks. So there you go. So you back up, then get in. These sort of special effects don't actually do anything. It's his attack that hits you like that. There you go. See? So a little cheese though. You don't need to work on this guy. You sort of can hide behind here, and you can pickaxe this. For now, that's not going to stay. Once you've killed him, you're going to get your rewards. Right? Now, what rewards you see on the screen is not always what you're going to get, but it will be for you at the moment. Until you've prestiged, you'll be buying like dungeon boss rewards, increase, and all sorts of things. But right now, what you saw on the screen is what actually you will get. Once you prestige, what you saw on the screen won't be what you get. It'll be a different number. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So now you've got your sword, and I'm going to explain a bit more about it. Let's get out here. Oh, that was smooth. Right, so I'm going to go down to the dungeon section. Right, and this is what I am saying is so important with the sword. Your sword is not just for fighting bosses. It is, but it's not. You see the base damage, the critical rate, the critical damage, and the bonus strength. Even though your sword is really for killing bosses, it affects how much you hit for. So the better the sword, as you can see there, look at the difference between common, 10%, and then we're going to 37%. Look at critical damage, from 200, we're now on 740%. So the bonus strength, and so it's an absolutely huge difference. Okay, so the quicker you can upgrade your sword and get all the way to rare sword being maxed, the faster you're going to get through this game. I can't stress how important maxing the sword is. So keep working the dungeons. Obviously, you really want to get away from mushroom dungeon as fast as you can and start farming the lava ones. But you're going to have to buy extra tokens. And to do that, you're going to come to the Dungeon King. And you're going to want to buy these as fast as you can as well. because you really want these bosses. It's not just for the ores, it's more for getting the crystals you need to start buying the better swords. So get those maxed out as quick as you can, or as high as you can. This is just literally health. So health and health regen. Okay, buy what you can afford. Not the end of the world. I very rarely get hit, so will you. The bosses aren't too difficult at the moment. But eventually this is going to be no problem to max for you guys anyway. So that's the sword, and I've showed you the artifacts. Now the new thing that's come in is a card system. So basically that level at the bottom of my screen says 77. You're going to want that. It's going to be on 0 for you when you start. The way it goes up is every hit you take puts that up. So you'll eventually now go up to level 5 very quickly. Once you get to level 5, you'll have your first gold token. Now it goes up in ones, but every 5, 10, 15, 20, you'll be able to eventually purchase one of these. Now this is an absolute awesome new addition. It's absolutely class, I love it. So you're going to choose like a lucky dip. A bit of fun. You're going to see what one you want to pick. I normally go for this one. I would advise not, because I have had terrible luck. There's people starting out and getting legendary, and I've opened probably in excess of, I don't know, 20, and I can show you here exactly. So we're going to cards. So I have, don't know what happened to my voice there. I have 6, 9, 13, 14, 15. So 15 times 5 is 75. Right, so 15 cards. Right, that's how much I bought, and I've only had one rare. Now there's people starting today who played this game for the first time. I've already got like one legendary, loads of epics. So I don't know what's going on. It's like whoever started first, it's like sort of been a little bit punished, but the people coming in now to play the game are getting heavily rewarded, and some of these are going to make them catch up to me quite quickly. The hit power is one of them. I've just been so unlucky. But this card system is amazing. I love it. It looks cool. What they do, though, that's the important part. So let's look at the cards. This is very, very good for people starting out. So we're going to common. You're going to have gain more common ores. Doesn't seem very important because it's the worst ore. But when you're just starting out, your ore artifact is the most important because you're going to max it first. And then not only that, you've now got boost stats for your common artifacts. So those first two are going to work hand in hand. They really are. I had I think it was the common artifact. I had the common artifact selected for ages before I eventually swapped it because it was so high compared to the rest. And you've now got sword damage increase. Doesn't actually affect hit power. It's just makes it a bit easier to kill the boss. And I've got one rare, reduced token cooldown for dungeons. That's going to be very helpful for you. Doesn't help me at all, as I really don't need to do bosses at the moment at all. I just need to mine. And then you've got mining rush, reduced cooldown for the altar. That helps me slightly at the moment. I really need to get up to the legendaries as quick as possible. It's just luck of the draw. It's just luck of the draw, and I've not been that lucky yet. So that is very, very important for you guys. Use that every time you get your 5 tokens. Don't forget to claim these as well for being in the server. Okay? They will give you lots of ores. Alright, and be a big help to you. Every time you get the ores, keep maxing out your hammers the best you can. A little bit of advice is I didn't put that much into the mushroom artifacts. Reason being was I wanted to get to lava section as quick as you can and then work on those artifacts. And again, I didn't put huge amounts into these. I really wanted to get to the final one because I played this game before and I realised that if I pumped everything into these, I would be losing ores for the final section. However, the game's drastically changed since I last played, or even since I got to this stage, is ores are much easier to get now than they were. So you're not going to really struggle that much for ores. It is going to be a bit of a grind, but it's not going to be the grind we had. So it's not that bad for you guys. So we're going to take you through the whole mushroom section. There's a little bit of secret. I'm not going to show you, but there's a little bit of a secret Up here, you jump on this mushroom, and then you can get somewhere. That's one thing. There is also another little secret around it, and I'll let you guys find that on your own. Okay, we're going to go down here. This room is a big grind. So this is the two rooms you're going to really notice the sort of how it slows down. This one, and the next one are going to be your biggest ones. Then it sort of speeds up again, but lava section is killer. It really is. This is what you want to then focus on. Your dungeon, your second dungeon boss. So let's go in and let you see him. Again, 10 seconds. Then you can jump in. Good doing this with other people as well. Just make sure you're pressing join at the same time. So we'll just kill him quickly, but I'll let you see him. Let you see his attack. He likes to run around the place a lot. He likes to run out the map a lot. That's why it's not actually that bad at the moment that this is still here. Otherwise, you might find they just go and don't come back. It is being worked on, and I'm sure it'll be fixed very soon. So we're going to open up that. Now, another little thing is not to do is don't button spam join. If you're on the mushroom boss and you button spam join, it'll take all your tokens from you. Just press it once, and it'll say joining on your screen, and that's it. Don't spam it, or you'll lose your tokens. It's happened to me many times. There's no point showing you the final section just yet. I'm not sure where I take you next. I'm just trying to make sure I've not missed anything. Right, I'm going to take you to the final section, and then we're going to assume they're in a position where you can prestige. Because I think you can prestige just about the second last room. You'll be able to then prestige, and I'm going to show you what to do and what to buy when you prestige. And then the rest, you're pretty much going to have to learn yourself, guys. I'll give you, of course, any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll help you as much as I can. Through your whole game, don't worry about leaving. Ask me 100 questions. I'll give as much help as I can. So explosive hit vendor. This is pretty expensive, but it's also extremely cool. Don't worry about my costs. It won't be like that. It's bad for you. You're really just to get level 1 and maybe to level 2 if you can at the start. Even if it's just level 1. Even if you can only afford 1, it's all good. Work on this room, and then again you've now got your third boss. This takes 3 tokens. Mushroom is 1, lava is 2. Alright. Obviously the higher the dungeon boss, the more rewards. Alright, so we're going to assume that you've worked in here. At this point, you want to keep checking your prestige and see if you're available to prestige. If you can prestige, and we'll assume now you can, maybe you can't, we'll assume you can maybe either prestige in here or in here. Make sure if you can get into this room, you go and see this artifact guy and start getting some artifacts so you can get this underworld hammer as soon as possible. But we'll assume now you're ready to prestige. So we're going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to show you what to do. Because this is the part you don't want to mess up, right? Because this is this is crazy, and it happens to a lot of people. They forget to buy and spend all their money before they prestige. So you're obviously going to want to work on altar as much as you can afford. But the first port of call is always going to be your ores at the moment. So make sure you buy your ores, and then you're going to head down to dungeon section again, and you're going to spend all your money on Dungeon King first. Then you're going to worry about health upgrades. So in that pretty much order, I would go ores, altar, dungeon boss. I would maybe even choose dungeon boss over, like, between ores and dungeon boss are key, then altar, then health regens, and then all the sort of lore stuff in this section like speed and AFK upgrades and all that stuff there. Alright, so now you've prestige, you're going to be up this top section. Okay, so now you've prestiged, you'll literally, you'll be facing this way once you prestige. And a smart thing to do always before you prestige is look and see how much things cost. because I can't remember what the value is, but let's say it's 1,000. I don't know, I can't remember, it's too long ago now. Let's say it costs 1,000 and 1,000, and it costs like 1,000, and this one costs like say 500. So it's 3,500 total to buy one of each thing, right? And you prestige at 3,450, and you're 50 short of buying something. So be aware of what the costs are and make sure you're working towards them. Okay, so if you need to hit L for a little bit longer to try and gain a little bit more to buy something, that's what you should do. Okay, now the most important thing is for me the artifact slot. You want to get that as high as you can. That's your first port call. Ores is somewhat important, but for me, what I did was focus on artifacts and focus on mining ascension. This is what's really going to help you with power. And the more power you have, the quicker you get through the map to the next prestige. And then it's going to keep helping you in that way. Always wanting to buy ascension if you can afford it. Obviously, the bosses are reasonably important, and they're going to pay well and help you get your sword up. So I wouldn't neglect it. Okay, I wouldn't neglect it, but it is only a 5% gain each time. So, my priority was the artifact, then ascension, and it was a toss up between the ores and the dungeons, whatever I could afford. Uh, Knowing what I know now about the sword, which I didn't for some reason, even though I taught this on Lumberjack to everybody, is that I didn't pay attention for the first biome before I really started looking at the sword stats and then realised, oh yeah, I should be maxing it. So thankfully I didn't miss it for prestige, and I did manage to put it in. But it's very easy to forget that the sword is important. Okay. And another little tip for you is if you're getting a lot of pop-ups on the screen and you don't want them and they're annoying you, you can come here and you can go to skip quest section and you can just hold it. Don't go too far and too crazy unless you've played a lot of these tycoons before. If you played tycoons before, you won't need this at all. But if you're just starting out and you want to skip one, this is where you come. Right, that's pretty much it. And you're going to find yourself in a routine eventually between altar, going to your boss, then back to grind, then altar to boss and back to grind. And eventually, you want to be at a place where you can one tap the last room. So this is the last room, and once you can break these, right, one tap, you would normally before go back to the top section and work on the gems, but now they have this awesome gem in the middle. Now this pays ores, and with your charge attack, it also destroys the order rounds, and when it breaks them, look at the payment. So that's 106 UDC, and I'm getting 38 DC per hit. So massive. And sometimes it goes up to like 8 UDC. So it's huge, huge jumps. So the top gem is going to be used for a certain amount of period for the map, but then it's going to become null and void, and you're going to be working here, right? Because you're going to get ores and you're going to get more money. So don't waste too much time in the top one, and you should come here as fast as you can. Once you get here, you're going to be here for a while. This is pretty much going to be it until the new biomes open. So it's going to be here, bosses, back to here, running between this, altar, and bosses. Thankfully, if you're just starting out and then it's not going to be that bad for you because the biome will be opening soon. However, if you've started at the same time as me, you realise it has been quite grindy and it's getting a wee bit slow. But that's just because we're so far ahead of the game, and if you're just starting out or just been out for maybe a few days, this is probably perfect for you because eventually this is going to open up and you're going to be strong enough to go through, buy everything you need, and start catching up on me in the leaderboard because the payment for these new rooms will be higher. They have to be higher than what we're working on before, or it wouldn't work. So there's a very good chance you'll catch up very quickly when this biome's open. So don't be disheartened by the score, and of course leave comments in my comment section, and I'll get back and I'll help as much as I can. The leaderboard is obviously important for me. It's also great for the channel and brings people to my videos. But at the end of the day, it's not everything. You know, if I can help people and get them to do well in their game, that's actually priority for me, to be honest. Over all of the other stuff. So again, I can't thank you enough for watching and subscribing and all the support I've been getting from you guys. It's been really really nice. So on that note, for now, Fallout out.